Good afternoon. Phil Lindemann with your Krystal 93 News from Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery. This fifth and final weekend of March was moderately busy on the I-70 Mountain Corridor. Just under 135,000 cars traveled the tunnels Friday through Sunday. That's down about 7.5% from last weekend, the busiest of winter, down 5% from the same weekend last year. Today was the coldest March 27th in nearly 60 years. High temperature in Dillon was 21 degrees. That ties the record low from 1964 and 1926. The higher you went today, the colder it was. Single digits at Copper, sub-zero at the top of A Basin and Breckenridge. Yesterday, March 26th, set a new record low. High temp was just 16 degrees. That beats the previous record from 1917. It was 26 degrees colder than the average for that date. And this entire month has been colder than usual at the crystallized weather station, 3 degrees colder than March last year, nearly 8 degrees colder than 2020. Colorado mountain towns are scrambling to understand a possible new state law, which is meant to regulate workforce housing. Dillon Town Manager Nathan Johnson.
The governor and his staff need to keep that in mind, that maybe a blanket policy is not going to work for the entire state.
That bill defines where and how affordable housing is built and mandates reporting to the state. It was introduced just last week and could reach the Capitol by next week. Johnson calls that extremely fast.
They need to pump the brakes. They need to get some input from people who are already doing workforce housing. Look at what has worked, what's not worked, and take that into consideration.
The Colorado Association of Ski Towns, representing 27 towns statewide, is against the bill as written. Tanisha Spagnolia, co-owner of Timberline Craft Kitchen at Exit 205, is the newest member of Silverthorne Town Council. Spagnolia was one of 8 candidates. She fills the seat left empty by outgoing councilman Mike Spry. She joins several other local businesswomen on the council, including Erin Young of Red Buffalo Coffee and Tea and Chris Karen of Locals Liquors. New jobs and support groups are top priorities for Strong Futures mental health funding, paid for by taxes. That biggest chunk of money would go to Wild Youth Passages, a support group for middle and high school students. St. Anthony's wants $30,000 for a behavioral health specialist at the ER. 2 other groups want cash for clinicians and therapists. The hunt continues for a masked man caught on video stealing merchandise from Breckenridge Building Center. Breck PD says the alleged theft happened early in the morning this past Friday. Video shows the man in a black face mask stealing large items. Vail Resorts has settled out of court with the family of an East Coast man who died in a bizarre chairlift accident in 2020. The Colorado Sun reports details of the settlement are confidential. The man died when his jacket caught on a chairlift and wrapped around his body, suffocating him. Vail properties here in Summit and Eagle counties are the test sites for a new pass holders only rental program. It's called My Epic Gear. Epic pass holders who join the program are guaranteed skis or boards from 15 brands, and they could swap their gear for a different model anytime during the season. My Epic Gear debuts next season at Breck, Keystone, Vail, and Beaver Creek. It goes company-wide later. In sports, the Nuggets play the 76ers tonight at 7:30. The Avalanche play the Ducks at 8. And in local sports, Summit High Girls Soccer is playing Battle Mountain away today. And the Breckenridge Vipers ended the season like it began, losing to the Vail Yeti Friday, winning at home on Saturday. The rest of the season for the Vipers was mediocre. They ended at 7-13 overall. Phil Lindemann with your Krystal 93 News from Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery.